I'm sorry to say it, but the Canva design logo that you have doesn't mean that you have a full brand. After designing blogs and websites for food bloggers for the last 10 years, I can tell you that just because you have a logo doesn't mean you have a brand. Ignoring the main part of what makes a brand strong is something that can definitely hold back your blog from growing. Today, I'm breaking down 3 branding mistakes that you might be making that are actually holding your blog back from growing. And don't miss number 3 because it is more important than ever these days. Hey friend, I'm Madison from Grace and Vine Studios, and I design blogs and websites for food bloggers, and I have seen over the years what helps a blog to stand out from the crowd. You can have amazing recipes, but what really separates a blog from just reaching a plateau level, from becoming a household brand and a blog that people know, truly is their branding foundations. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, so mistake number 1 is thinking that your logo is a full brand. Now, I see this all the time. Bloggers will decide that they're going to rebrand and they'll change up their logo in Canva. Maybe they'll change up their fonts or their colors. Maybe they even hire somebody to design a new logo for them. But when they miss this one step, they're really undercutting what their brand can do for their blog and how it can propel their blog to the next level. They might say things like, these are my brand colors, or here are the fonts I use on my website, or maybe they just simply think I have a good logo, so I have a good brand. Here's the thing. A logo triggers recognition for something. When you see the Target logo, you aren't just thinking about the bullseye logo or the color red. You are imagining an experience. Maybe you're imagining yourself walking through the store with your Starbucks coffee. There's so many parts of the Target brand that have absolutely nothing to do with the bullseye logo itself. In fact, they could completely change that logo to something else, and they have over the years, and you would still recognize the Target brand and the Target experience by other elements, not just the logo itself. So your logo might be beautiful. It might be well designed and well done, but if it doesn't have all the other elements around it, the other pieces that make it a brand and not just a piece of artwork at the top of your website, then you're really missing the mark when it comes to branding and, again, creating that experience for your readers on your website. So what's the difference here? What's the difference between the Target logo and experience and the logo that is well designed and beautiful at the top of your website? Well, it's really all those other pieces, right? It's the experience that people are having on your website, and how can we create that for our readers? Well, one part of it is something that I like to call brand messaging. This is one of the foundations of the brand strategy that makes your website well known and recognizable to your readers. Because I want you to really think about how people are engaging with your website, especially first-time users. What are they doing? They're coming to one recipe and they're clicking that jump to recipe button to come down to your recipe card. They're missing all of the stuff on the page that makes you unique and different. And so you have to really think about, in that split second that someone is viewing your website and making a split second decision about whether to stick around, what are the things you're communicating to that reader? The colors and the fonts might be something that they recognize. It might be something that keeps them there versus sends them away. But the way that you write your recipe, the way that you put your tips in the notes section and how you communicate that to your readers, that's the thing that makes your blog different from other blogs out there. And that is part of that core brand messaging. Now, the rest of that brand messaging is going to be on different places on the website, and that's going to be different from those first-time visitors who are jumping to the recipe versus the people who stick around a little bit longer, the people who are on your email list and who visit more than one recipe. And that's really what is going to be the memorable stuff that they, remember, the things that they come back for on your website time and time again. I want you to sit and think about this for a minute. If you close your eyes and you imagine your blog, what are you imagining? Probably not your logo, although maybe. Maybe it's your logo, but what are the other things that come to mind when you think about your brand? Is it a style of photography that you follow? Is it an ingredient base that you use, whether that is something for a specific diet or maybe just a type of ingredient that you avoid? There's, different boxes that your blog can be kind of put into based on what types of ingredients you use. Is it a way that you speak to your audience? Is it something like a greeting that you always share at the beginning of your Instagram videos? There's different things that make your blog what it is without the logo itself. And to be honest, if you can't think of all of those different things, then your logo might be trying a little bit too hard to hold up the entire brand when there are so many other things that make your blog unique to you. Okay, let's jump into number 2, which is that you might be showing up in a completely different way across your platforms. So this could be that on social media, you have one persona. On email marketing, you have another persona. Maybe in YouTube videos, you have something else. And then when someone comes to your blog, none of that personality is there. And this is what I see all the time from people who are using generic pre-made themes. You come to their blog and it just looks like everybody else's. It's black and white with a little splash of color here and there, and again, a Canva pre-made logo at the top. There's nothing to differentiate that person. If I were to remove all of the extras, the social media, the emails, the YouTube video presence, and I was just to put that blog there, there isn't much to tell me that it's yours, right? So if you're showing up in a way that is fun and bubbly and, personable on something like Instagram or TikTok, and your website isn't showing any of that, you're creating a disconnect for your audience, whether or not they verbalize that to you. They are feeling like this isn't the person who I follow on Instagram. Whereas the opposite can be true when your brand really carries all of that across all of your channels, all of your platforms, and your website. Then you're creating this cohesive experience where people can land in one place or another, but they still know it's your brand and it fits your world that you're building for them, right? Readers subtly will notice this disconnect, and it becomes the difference between them coming back to your blog over and over again versus them going back to Pinterest or Google to find a recipe. When you create that cohesive experience where they know and trust you across all the platforms, you are going to become their go-to source for whatever your niche is. It's the same reason why in real life, someone might know you as the go-to person. The other day, I had a friend, we were planning a potluck, and she's like, I want you to bring dessert because I know you bring the best desserts. That's what you want to be creating and experiencing on your blog itself. You want people to come to you as the go-to source for whatever it is that you put out there on your blog. I want you to think of it this way. Social media is the hook and the blog is what deepens the relationship and keeps them coming back for more. So the action step here is to be really honest with yourself. Are you showing up in the same way on your website, on your social media platforms, on your email marketing platforms? Is it the same experience across the board for your readers, or are you creating that disconnect and that confusion for the people who are following along? And just one more note on this, I actually love that we have sort of rewound the way that we are writing blog posts as food bloggers now. Way back in the day, 10 years ago, people were writing so informally. It was so casual, this is what I did today, this is what I bought at Target today, whatever. Then we moved into such a robotic way of writing because we were following the formula and the template and all the things. And a couple years ago, all of the algorithm shifts really just created so much chaos in doing things that way. And now people are starting to bring themselves back into their writing. They're trying to add personality back in. And I actually love this because I think it is creating an environment where we are just able to show up as our authentic selves across the platforms. And that's really what our brand needs to be strong. Okay, and if you stuck around, now we're at number 3, which is the one that I think can make or break a blog's success. And this is that if you are hiding behind your blog still, it is time to put yourself out there as the face of your brand. This is nothing new. Truly, I've been saying this for 10 years now, but it is more important than ever in this day and age of AI. I did an entire video a couple weeks ago about EEAT and how to prove that you are just not another AI website out there. And it really comes down to showing up like a real human and showing up as your authentic self. So there are so many signs of this that I see across blogs that we audit all the time, is things like if your profile photo is from 10 years ago and you don't look like that anymore. I get it. We all want to just live the way that we looked 10 years ago, but people can tell, especially if you're creating video content and you haven't updated the profile photo across your website, it is time to update that. Everybody has a great phone that can take photos these days. Take a great photo with a well-lit photo where it actually looks like you and use that across your channel so that people can recognize you and know who you are. It also shows up in things like never showing your face in your content. And I know for a lot of people, getting in front of the camera and showing up in videos is hard and challenging for so many reasons, but it's something that is so important for your blog's success and for really expanding that brand beyond the logo, because that's really what we're talking about here. We're talking about going from just a logo, just a little piece of artwork that represents your brand, to creating that brand experience. And we do that through bringing ourselves more into our content to create those, human to human connections with our audience. And this is the truth here. If no one knows who you are easily replaceable as another faceless creator. And I know that's a hard truth to swallow, but it's something that we all have to wrestle with, because the more blogs that are out there, the more content that is out there, we cannot stand to blend in anymore, because if we do, we're just going to get left behind. And I don't say that to be like fear mongering or to just create a lot of chaos, because our industry has enough chaos as it is. But I say that just to encourage you to put yourself out there in the way that feels most authentic to you and most doable for you. It is going to make a difference for your brand in the end. And I'll leave you with this for mistake number 3, and that is that there are millions of recipes out there on the internet, but there is only one you, and there's only one brand that you are building. And so put yourself into that brand and see what happens. See the connections that you can make, because people are craving connections and community over more content. We all have enough content to consume. We want to have those human to human connections. Honestly, there are so many ways that you can do this, but first of all, check that profile picture, make sure that it's accurate and has been updated in the last, 3 years or so. If it's older than 3 years, please just take a new one and let everyone see your beautiful self as it is right now. But also pick one area that you want to show up a little bit more you. That could be in your email list. It could be in your social media content. Just pick one area where you want to have a little bit more of your real life sprinkled in and just see what happens. It takes time and it takes consistency to build this into something that people actually care about. But if you do it, you're going to be building those human to human connections, and it will make a difference in stabilizing your blog and helping your blog to ultimately grow into a brand, which is what I think we all need to be doing. Now, if you struggle with this and you struggle with knowing what your first step is or where to show up more, I built something just for you. It is called our Personal Brand Playbook. And this is where you can really dive deeper into your personal brand and how to show up in all the different ways, but in ways that will establish your brand more authentically, more strategically, and ultimately will grow your blog to the next level through your personal brand. So you can check the description below to get the link to subscribe to that. And that will seriously help you so much. It's something that I built for you guys based on what our clients needed. And so I hope you enjoy it. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these 3 mistakes do you think you're making? Which do you think you're going to tackle first? And I'll see you in the next video.